long. I wasn't going to reach to this, but they timed me out for simply telling the truth. So once again, I'll expose them all on the daily rundown. Wait a minute, who you about to expose? You know what I'm saying? And what time you about to do that? You know what I'm saying? So those inquiring minds could, you know what I'm saying, see what the fuck is going on. You know what I mean? I appreciate you for the 49.99, and let me celebrate you on Telonias. As a matter of fact, give me a few. I'll celebrate y'all just now, but I appreciate you for the motherfucking support. Appreciate you, right? And shout out to Auntie Bomb Cherry in the chat too. What up, Bomb?
That's all you do. That's all you do.
So what's the problem?
You are the problem.
I'm gonna do what the fuck
Handle
I want.
it. Fucking handle it. Fucking handle it. You can't do shit but talk shit on the internet. Okay? No, you nothing but a fucking bully. You're a fucking bully.
We talking about Umar
You're a pussy
Johnson.
ass.
We talking about Umar Johnson.
They
I
fussing,
forgot what
y'all.
happened with that. It's called
You a pussy ass bitch. That shit you fucking did, you are not gonna get away with it. It's gonna come and catch up with you. You know what the fuck you did, bitch.
what's happening
Oh.
now?
Can you drop her because she won't stop talking? I can't even get a word in.
Hold on. I don't know what's happening right now.
So do me a favor if you can get her to calm down. Ask her
No,
what the
bitch.
fuck.
Nobody don't
is
need
she-
to calm me down.
Can you
This
drop her?
time you
Hold
understand.
on.
Drop her.
Don't
What
fucking
happened?
phone me, D. Don't fucking
What
me.
if she's not gonna be coherent and
You
say
want
her
the
issues?
first
I'm not
bitch.
wasting my time.
You got you think you
Hold
got
on.
you
I
fucking
gotta find out
fucking
what
bitch at me?
happened, Jalen.
You know why? She knows
Can you
exactly-
tell me? Can you give me
She
some
knows
idea?
exactly. She knows exactly what she did. She knows. I don't have to say it. She's sitting here playing dumb, and she knows.
Does this
exactly
have to do
what
with
she did.
DL
No,
or something?
this don't got nothing to do with him. It's what she did.
What did she do?
Everybody want to keep using him as an excuse, and
Yeah, we gotta stop. Please don't abuse the wrenches. If Daryl ain't saying nothing crazy to nobody, just like everybody else, let's not just be spiteful and just timing the man out. The man's supporting the show, man. If y'all keep timing him out, I'm gonna have to give him a wrench to defend himself.
Please
You know what I'm
don't
saying?
stop.
You know what I mean? Come on, man. And shout to the Juju. Appreciate you for the $4.99. Juju loving the degeneracy. Juju, you toxic as fuck, man. Come on. You need Jesus. You need Jesus in your life. It, man. White Jesus and black Jesus for them. You need
they
both.
did the dirt that they did. The bitch knows what the fuck she did. Okay? And everybody's sitting here acting like, oh, they YouTube family. Oh, they the best and everything. No, bitch, I don't live on the internet. And you know what the fuck you did. Okay? Because you're a dirty ass, grimy bitch.
Okay,
And
hold on. What?
Whoa.
Ooh.
Whoa. That is crazy. That is crazy. I gotta run that back, right? And also I want to shout out to Stevie Music. Is this Mr. Music or this is Music Man in the chat? I'm not sure which one it is, but appreciate you for the $5 holla. He said I told them this was gonna get clipped, and it did get clipped. It ain't even got clipped. It actually got clipped. You're right. Appreciate you for the $5 holla, sir. Appreciate you. And I celebrate you just now. Let me just make a comment and highlight this shit so I can remember, right?
everybody want to keep using him as an excuse, and they did the dirt that they did. The bitch knows what the fuck she did. Okay? And everybody's sitting here acting like, oh, they YouTube family, oh, they the best and everything. No, bitch, I don't live on the internet, and you know what the fuck you did. Okay? Because you're a dirty ass, grimy bitch.
Okay, hold on. What is, I don't know.
I'm gonna drop because this is why I don't really come on panels. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. So we're gonna give her one more opportunity. I don't have to time. If she can come back, articulate whatever.
I thought everything was going okay.
All right, if you bring her back this next time, if she can't articulate what I did, I got shit to hide. I didn't do shit to this lady. I don't fucking know the crazy yet. Tell her, don't keep saying you know what you did. What did Venus do?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. The lady not explaining what she did, you know what I'm saying? Maybe English is not her first language, you know what I'm saying? Show to the Juju, she said, crashing out child, you know what I'm saying? I think she mean like child, like how y'all say child, listen, you know what I'm saying? Show to the Juju, appreciate you for the $4.99. At least Juju is enjoying herself, you know what I'm saying? It feel like Friday over at Juju right now, right? But let's run the clip. So far I don't know what's the issue between them because the Jalen lady is not articulating her issues right. I still don't even know what she's talking about. You know what I'm saying? But let's give it one more attempt. Let's give it one more attempt, right?
I don't know what the fuck she's talking about.
Don't let this be the last time you come through.
It's gonna have to be because it used to be men, but now it's women. Why y'all love clout chasing me? I don't know. I do nothing to the fucking lady. I don't know her. What the fuck?
Roy said, "Tell Venus to unblock."
Tell her to state her issue and shut the fuck up and take her fucking medication.
Oh, I didn't know she was on meds. This is crazy. Oh, she was dissing Jalen. Oh, I didn't know. See, this is all new to me. I needed the backstory. I wish I could have the backstory, but we're gonna do with what it do, right? We're gonna do with what it
Roy said, "Tell Venus to unblock."
Tell her to state her issue and shut the fuck up and take her fucking medication.
Y'all hear that?
First of all, Robin, mind your business.
Something don't sound good.
Oh,
What is that sound?
Why you gotta do this here? You know,
because you know why? I'm sorry, babe, but you know why, babe? Because I'm sick and tired of her saying us Puerto Rican women are attacking.
She didn't say that. She
yes,
said
she did.
She didn't say anything about Puerto Ricans specifically.
Yes, she did. She said, "Oh, Puerto Rican women, replay, put the rewind." But you see all these weirdos in here.
I don't remember you saying Puerto Rican women.
I hope you never
I thought she was talking
Sexy,
about.
so this becoming a waste of time. Can you ask her what did I do? I don't give a fuck about dumb shit.
What did she do? Because you know, I'm not. If you're not gonna say what she, you know what I'm saying. If you're not gonna say what she did,
you making shit up. You looking stupid, bitch. What the fuck?
No, you the bitch.
What did I do?
You the fucking bitch. Nobody. You think somebody's
say what?
Hey, anybody want to
let them fight?
There we go. There we go. I was just gonna try to make sure anybody want to chime in or not, but you got it, man.
I did.
Like, what did she do? Why we do? I don't want to fucking do this shit. I don't want all this yelling.
They know what she did. They acting like they don't know.
Venus came here with commentary.
Okay.
I don't think she
That's
shots. I don't think she. And she left. Venus left.
And then
What did she do?
they'll claim she not making shots.
She came. You think she's talking on topic, but she knows who I am, and she's doing pop shots.
If she's claiming she don't know that woman, she know that woman.
Keep letting some bully bitch, thinking on the internet that I can articulate what I'm saying, bitch. You just trying to be fucking funny.
But we don't have to do that here, though.
I understand that.
This is not the show for that.
But
The
you know
show
what?
is about
You can't keep if you say Latinos, because Latinos vary. She said Puerto Rican women. You said what is next?
I did not hear.
You see, she didn't say that. She didn't even said Latino. She said Hispanic. You know what I'm saying? So I think Jalen hearing her own shit.
Yeah, they hear what they want to do.
Every time she hear what she want to hear and make up her own narrative.
Yeah, I think she the meds thing that Venus said she was off. She needed to take her meds. Does anybody know if she takes medication or that was like a joke?
I think it's more like a joke. Like, lady, go take some medication because you are right now.
I can articulate what I'm saying, bitch. You just trying to be fucking funny.
But we don't have to do that here, though.
I understand that.
This is not the show for that.
But
The
you know
show
what?
is
But
about
the thing is, you can't keep if you say Latinos, because Latinos vary. She said Puerto Rican women. You said what is next?
I did not hear
rewind it.
Puerto Rican women, and I hear that shit.
Okay, but you know what? Your little trolls.
No, because this is not good for the channel.
Well, you need to stop letting her come up.
I can have whoever I want on my panel now. That's
not
cool.
But she said Puerto Rican. She should have said Hispanics or Latinos.
I don't believe she said any. I don't believe that she said.
She actually said Hispanic. She actually.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, she can tell her who she can bring up there. That's rude.
I'm telling you.
And she heard Puerto Rican when she said Hispanic. She heard Puerto Rican.
She did. Right. That's why I'm like, is that one and the same? Because I don't think that's the same.
Yeah, the H in Spanish sound like a P.
No. I think she was already seeing red, and it didn't matter what Venus said, she was gonna hear her own shit. You know what I mean?
I want on my panel
But
now.
the thing is,
That's
no,
not cool.
But she said Puerto Ricans. She should have said Hispanics on my
I
panel.
don't believe she said it. I don't believe that she said. You both of you came on like both of you clicked the link at the same time.
Nobody's
so I let I let people come on. Hey Tiff, hey boo. But at the end of the day, it's not. People don't want to watch this. I don't want to do this every day, and I don't want. And I don't want people to feel like they can't join the panel. I feel like anybody should be able to join the panel. But,
and that's what I would say over here. I don't want nobody feel like they can't join the panel. Even if somebody is super right wing, conservative, I don't want them to feel like they can't join the panel. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why sometimes I try to be not extreme in my views, because I don't want the conversation to only be based on my point of view, because I could talk to myself without even going live or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? I genuinely want to hear where everybody else got to see, unless you just rambling on. You know what I mean?
But if you're not able to hold it together, I can't. I just can't, because this has already happened to my channel before, and I just don't want it to happen again.
You know what, man? I will get off your channel and we'll never come back to your channel, because you know what? Half of the time.
You know what? This sounds very familiar. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Most of the time when people send a lot of bread to your channel, they threaten you, oh, I'm not coming back. I'm about to take my money elsewhere. And it's like, so that was your agenda from the jump to control my shit. You know what I'm saying? That's fucked up. You know what I mean? That's fucked up.
Real said where the link is.
And the guys attacked
Let's
us
drop
on
the link for
right?
sure.
It wasn't cute either. But the thing is that nobody's obsessed with this lady. This is something that I needed to address right now.
But you didn't address anything. Thank you.
Because I'm not a content creator. I'm not. She's about somebody wants clout. Clout off for her. I make money every single day, lady. I make more money than you do. Okay? And nobody ain't playing no damn victim. It's just that, you know what? At the end of the day, y'all do that shit in the chat, and I have all of you blocked for a reason.
Not
And then I go to
take
other
little
channels,
things.
like, I don't want the.
She flexing. I ain't gonna hold you. She flexing her motherfucking.
See, I would have snatched that Gucci wrench and sent her money back. Like,
and I appreciate you, Juju. Juju toxic ass. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, Juju.
Damn, Juju holding something.
Oh, yeah. Juju just hit a lick. Juju done hit a... Oh, I ain't supposed to say that. My bad. Shout out to Juju. Appreciate you for the motherfucking support. Right?
Look at all the junk in that trunk.
This nigga, man. Oh, there's a new pic. Wait a minute. My bad. I gotta full screen it. Okay. It is Juju. I had to make sure there ain't no AI. I had to make
You can recognize them out of back. Okay, shout out to DJ Witch Doctor.
Come on, bro. You trying to get me in trouble, man. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back into the clip, man. Let's get back.
Today, y'all do y'all shit in the chat, and I have all of you blocked for a reason.
Okay, but
because I don't want the bullshit with any of you. I block people for a reason, and I'll leave your channel forever. I don't have a problem.
But it's not about that. It's
yes,
about.
It is a problem. Yes, it is a problem. It is a problem.
But if you're not,
that didn't happen here. But
it's not a problem because you're not saying what she did when she asked you straight up. You didn't even say anything. She asked you straight up. What the fuck is up? And you ain't had no fucking answer. And right, she said she couldn't even get a word in. And this ain't the first. And what's really pissing me off is this ain't the first time you've done this.
Right. I've done it plenty of times. You have
people want to come through, have a conversation, and not know. And it's fucked up because it's not a problem. You state the problem. You're not stating the problem.
I did state the problem, and they.
What's the problem?
The problem is you're doing content, and she asked you if they constantly coming back after you black women, right? You said what race is next? She said Puerto Ricans.
I think that's just it. Okay, I'm gonna play it again. We gotta see this. I don't remember. I don't play it. But I did ask her. I don't think she meant you.
No. This is not. Oh, go ahead. She timestamped it. Go ahead.
That's the only thing that he.
He's looking like a.
Wait a minute. Let me let somebody. Wait.
I don't think. I did not pick that up.
You gotta let somebody up quick.
I don't want nobody fucking with
lonely in these streets. Let's let Sherelle
looking
in
for-
the motherfucking.
Shout out to the king, the queen.
I'm looking for the match of this.
What's going on, Sherelle?
Hey y'all, I was up. I'm like, what y'all doing? I'm coming chill with y'all.
Hey, Sherelle.
Hey.
You sure you want to be around this messy shit?
I don't know. Is it drama? I don't know what y'all talking about. If it is drama, let me
You know what? It's drama, but you probably didn't want to put in your 2 cents. You know what I mean? Just to be safe. You know what I mean?
I'm not putting no 2 cents in. Y'all, if y'all talk about anything kind of controversial, I gotta stay out of it. That's what I did want to
Yeah.
everybody.
Hey, Terrell is up here. I gotta change my avatar.
Oh, Lord.
Why you talking in a deep voice? Man? You was just high pitched just now.
Let me
I
put
like
my
that.
excuse
I
you.
like that. Got you like
So
this.
there's the gray.
Right,
I need the gray in the middle.
yeah, y'all. I didn't know what
But
y'all
I have the
talking
gray
about.
on the
I was like,
sides.
Now we're reviewing Venus and Jalen going at it. Venus was saying that a lot of times women of other races be too comfortable talking on black women, and she's saying it's because black men talk on black women.
But I
And
have
Jalen
a
took
gray in the
that
middle, right?
personal. She's saying
I
because
need a
Venus
gray.
mentioned Hispanic women
Wait,
and
what
stuff
else
like
I
that, but Jalen heard Puerto Rican because she's Puerto Rican.
No, I don't need
So
no
the
grays
shit
right
just
now.
went downhill after
The
that.
blue.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I can't stay, but I don't even know who Jalen is. But shout out to.
You don't want to.
Say, hey y'all, but I can't stay for that.
Yeah,
Hey, it was nice. Because you had your regular camera on today. You know, usually you have your blue stuff on. I was like, look at you with your regular face.
I gotta I changing my ways. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to. You know what I mean?
I was like, you got your regular face on. I was like, I'm gonna go see what they got. You must be on good behavior. You got your regular face, but you still up here being bad. So.
I'm gonna show y'all how to put the 9 block together in a
Tiff
minute.
is the one that brought this video. You know,
Okay, you know what? I'll take that.
I appreciate it, Tiff. I appreciate it. Right?
Okay, but it was good to see y'all. I'm
gonna mute it for a second. So my blocks, I'm making a 9 patch right now, and I'm using 2-inch strips, and then I'm making the strips as long as I can. And then the thing is, the key is for the quilt that I'm making, I don't know how to explain it. I need the patch, the middle of the quilt patch, or should I say the quilt block, I want a solid color in the middle. Okay, now I made some blocks where I have the solid color in the middle and then others where I don't. But in this, I'm making an entire quilt, and I'm making 2 different blocks. I explained this before. I'll show y'all. Let me see if I can find my tablet. Okay, let me move this back a little bit. Okay, so I'm making 2 blocks, 2 different blocks to make this quilt. And I'm making a block A, and I'm making a block B. Now, the dots equals solid color, or, it equals a color besides white, okay? This equals colors besides white, the dots. And all the blocks with no dots equals white, okay? And so in block A, the solid color is, or the pattern color, or the color, right, is in the center of all block A's. But it's also in the center of block B. Now, what's the difference between these blocks? The difference is in block A, we have 5 colors. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In block B, we only have 1 color. See what I'm saying? So this is not the full block. This is what I need to make, and then from there, I'm going to end up building up the blocks larger, because block B, this is the center of block A, But block, and then block A is really gonna be, I didn't never draw that out. Let me get a pen and show y'all. Now this is something I came up with. It's not like I created it. Okay, I'm not saying that I created it. But it's something that I have in my mind. So I need, first let me put, so in order to make block, the actual full block A, I'm gonna need 5 of these. Wait, one, two, yeah. Just like this block is created, then when I finish to create the entire block, it's gonna be the same pattern. That's why I didn't make it again, right? So once I make these, I'm gonna show y'all in a second exactly how it goes, but I need 5 of these per block. And then I'm gonna need the whites to fit. One of these will be in the center. And then I'm gonna have this block here, 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 and here. And so the whites are gonna be where they are. And that's gonna equal. Now, block B though, block B is where it's one in the center and all these are white. But on the white in this area, I'm gonna put a color. At the ends. And so the block will, when I create the entire block, it's gonna be pretty. And it's all in my ideas. But then when I make the full block, because the full block is 5 of these plus 1, 2, 3, 4 white blocks. Okay, and then that's gonna be the full size block. It will end up being a big block. Okay, because these are small, and I'm gonna show y'all that in a minute. And this block, I think in the end it will equal 10 inches square. So this will be a 10-inch block. This will be a 10-inch block, and then the pattern going across the quilt will be, I'm going to do 5 rows across, and I'm thinking either 6 or 7 down. I haven't quite worked out how long I want it to be, how big I want it to be, but I do not want it to be square. So if you're looking to make a square block, then of course you'll do 5 and 5 or 6 and 6, and it equate being a square. I want it not to be a square, so I'm doing 5 rows across, 6 rows down. Now let me show you the blocks that because I've been working on this since last week. These are the ones that that I've done so far. Here are the blocks. Okay, so they're coming in different colors. You see how I want that? This is block A, but it's not completely block A. I'm gonna show you what block A look like in a second. So I have in different patterns. You see, so I have some purples, some green dots, some teals, and then I have some scrap pattern. So I'm gonna show you how I make I'm showing y'all how I make the block now, essentially, right? This is, so the block itself though will be made like this. Remember I said this is, you make these in order to make block A. So block A will be like this. It'll be, how do I have it? Yeah. So block A, they'll have a color there. They have a color there. This will be white. They have a solid color there, but of course I don't want the same colors touching each other. Let me just kind of switch it up so to fit, so y'all can see. Can y'all see that? And in this space right here will be a white block, the same size. Okay, and then that's going to total block A. Block A gonna have a color, white, a color, white, a color, white, a color, white, and a color. And then that block will be done. Okay, that's how you make block 1. Now see, it's a complicated block because I'm making blocks to make a block, right? Multiple blocks to make a block. Now I could have just made larger blocks, which I have done to make other type of quilts. Let me show you that. I do have some. Let me see. I keep my blocks around in little baggies because I'm doing a couple of different I'm doing different projects, y'all. When I get tired of making one project, then I go to another project. So this is the project I'm working on tonight. But this is another project. And this is the same thing, right? It's the same block. But this, I need several of these blocks to make one block. Several of these, right? But with this is the actual full block. Okay? Because I made it larger. If I'm correct, this might be, I don't know, a 6-inch block, 5-inch. Let me check. I don't have my, I don't really feel like going into all of that, but essentially this block is, yeah, this is 7-inch block. So this is 7-inch block, and it's not even done. It's not. This is because I'm thinking about because I don't like. It's something I did that I don't really like. I don't really like these two colors. They look too Christmassy. But I do have in my bedroom. My base color is black in my bedroom, and then I changed my colors around by adding, like, it could be black and red, right? Black and gold, black and white, and usually my curtains stay the same, and the only thing that ends up changing is, of course, my bed sheets and things like that, but because I need it. So in this block, I have 2 different blocks. See how they're the same style block, a 9 patch, but I have where this goes in the center with this, and then on the second block, this color goes in the center. You see that? And it's really pretty. If I design it out, it comes out looking pretty, but I don't really like it. You know, with it just being this, when I put it together and everything, my eyes. So now I know a lot of people who will like it, because I think a lot of people who like, they will like it. Since it's for me, I needed to break it up. So I'm going to put a black, I haven't really decided if it's going to be black or red strip to separate the blocks. But because the larger you make your block, the easier it is to make your quilt, the faster, right? Because you're making less blocks. Now, the one I'm working on now, I need 5 of these to make the one block. But for this quilt, I just need to make this block, right? Repetitive. Even though it's 2 blocks. All I do is change the colors around. That's it, okay? But so the quilt that I'm making now, it's intensive, okay? I have to do some calculations. And then I have another quilt that I'm working on, and this is the same 9 patch. You could do a 9 patch and make so many designs, because check it out. This is a 9 patch. This is a 9 patch. And it looks like a square, right? It looks like even I can actually put these 2 together because it's the same pattern, same size and everything. See how in this one, the middle is solid. In this one, the middle is pattern. I can take this block that's square like this, right? Square like that. From your perspective, it's square, and just turn it and make it like a diamond. And what I could do is then set some colors around it and pattern this like it's a diamond shape instead of a square shape. Just as simple as that. This pattern, depending on how you put it in your quilt, can make a difference. I can actually have one like this and then put another one like this. Wait, I don't think y'all can see that. I'm too much on the table right now. Let me move some of the stuff out the way. Okay, I just don't want to mix things up. Put you there. We're gonna get back on the block that I'm working on. But essentially, you can make a lot of blocks, and then you go in and decide on how you want to design it after. And you may then have to add things. I would suggest making the first block, figuring it out. If you want a second block, make it, and then figure it out in your mind. Okay, so this block could be like this, and you could do the next block where it's on the side of it, but it's going in this direction. See how the difference is? This one going like this one going like that. And of course you would have to piece some things in between to get it to match up. Okay, but you will work that out in your head or on paper. Okay. Now this is not the way I learned how to do quilts from my grandmother. This is new age, which is quicker. It's quicker. It makes sense. Back in the day, my grandmother used to take pieces of whatever is around, fabric from clothing that we no longer using, and start just piecing things together, making it fit. Today, we cutting up fabric to make and putting things together. I like it though. Okay, it's way quicker. So I'm gonna finish this one up, and then I'm gonna show y'all how I cut, because I know it's gonna take me a while. I already added up how many days it'll take me if I only worked on this, how many of these I need. I think my mat is here. I need 90. I need 90 of these, and that's if I only do 5 and 6, 5 rows across, 6 rows down. I need 90 of these blocks. 90 blocks, 9 patches, 18 each. That's these. Okay? I need 90 of these in total. Okay? So let's get to it. Now, so what is the difference between this block and that larger block? Well, my strips on the larger block were 2.5 inches wide. My strips on this block is only 2 inches wide. That 1/2 inch is a big difference. Okay, why? Because my sewing allowance is 1/4 inch. 1/4 is 1/2 inch, right? So when I have a 2.5 inch strip, the end result of this strip after sewn will be 2 inches. 2 inches, right? This one is not 2.5, but if it was 2.5 and I take a 1/2 off because of 1/4, this portion gonna be 2 inches. This part gonna be 2 inches, right? But with this block, it's 2 inches cut. I'm taking a 1/2 inch for the seam allowances. So 2 inches minus a half an inch is 1.5 inch. So this is 1.5 inch. Okay, 1.5 inch here, here, and here. And that's the size significance. That's the look, that's the change from this size block to this size block. See the difference? It's a big difference when you, that's visually, but it really is like a half an inch difference all around. Every, a half inch in everything that we do. Okay. So let me put them big blocks to the side. There's easier ways and quicker ways of making quilts as well. Anyway, so how do I make these blocks? There's a couple of ways I'm making these blocks. Right now, y'all see me use the strip method where I sew 2 strips. Remember, I want my block to have the color in the middle. So in order to have the color in the middle, I need a strip with the color in the middle. But then I have these others where the color is on the sides. And so these are the ones with the colors in the middle. And let me see, I think I have some strips already done. Yeah, in this bag. That I just have to cut. Once I cut these and sew them together to make this 9-patch. So see, I have a strip in with the white in the middle, right? But then I have another one with the pattern in the middle, okay? And so that's what I'm doing now. I'm sewing up a few of these, but I have some already ready, and I'm going to show y'all how I cut that and make that different in a minute, okay? Well, in a few minutes. Okay. Okay, so that's one way of making your blocks. And then, so some of my fabric, I don't have much of it. I didn't have much of this fabric, this one right here. And I didn't have enough of, well, I have enough of that for just to make a few of them, but let me see. I have another one, this color here. Oh, there's 3 of them. Anyway, so when I don't have enough fabric, and what do I mean by enough fabric? I have enough fabric to make the block, but I don't have enough fabric where it's long. I have pieces of it. So let me show you what I did in that case. What did I do with it? Let me see. These strips cut. Are they in here? Oh, I have to watch. Oh my goodness. How did that happen? Oh man, I gotta watch that. Okay. So I only had a little bit of this brown. But I didn't have enough of the brown in order to make strips and sew strips together. To cut strips. But I'm missing some stuff, y'all. It's sitting right here somewhere. Very small little pieces. So I keep them. It should have been in here, which it was. That means it's somewhere around here. Put some ice in my mouth. I like that. I'm gonna put this string back on so we can hear what they're talking about. Then I'll come back to y'all when I find them little pieces that I'm looking for.
I'm gonna be in the cloud.
She says she's not with this.
Don't you know all these marriages?
I'm not with that shit. Hey, Big Biz. I don't know if he got probably out there.
I am.
Good to see you.
Have a good one.
Go back in the clouds. All right, y'all?
All right, Sherelle.
All right.
Sherelle came up and was like, nah, y'all not about to indict me in this shit. You know what I'm saying?
I feel it. Shoot, hey, that's what you're supposed to do.
Oh, I got him.
Hey, you see, y'all got to take.
Okay. So, back another way of making these pieces. So when I don't have, when my pieces are, when I don't have enough of fabric in these long pieces, I cut out these squares. Like I had enough fabric that I knew that I could make the 9 patch, but I was like, okay, I don't have enough to make, you know, maybe it was in odd shapes. They were scraps. So what I do is I then take the pieces and I cut them. Remember, my strips is two inches. Even though it's a long strip of 2 inch, right? But I'm gonna end up then cutting it 2 inches after, which I'll show y'all. Because of that, there's another way of doing it. You can make a 2 by 2 inch square of whatever color you have. So I need 2 inch. I need 2 inch square of the color and 2 inch square of the white. Okay. Or I can use the strip. I can use a strip, and I can sew on like this. I could see this strip I have here. I could sew on. I could sew these on individually to the white strip because I'm gonna end up having to cut it anyway. Okay, I could do it that way. Which, since most of my white is strips. Okay, most of my whites are strips. So I have a few pieces of fabric, right? I like the color, but I couldn't quite get much of a strip, and it's the most I was able to get out of this strip. So I cut some in squares, and then if I was able to get a strip out of it, I did. That's to get rid of some of my scraps and some of the colors that I like. This was the largest I was able to get this strip, so it could be straight. So those are the 2 colors. And then what I did, I had the white. And so I sewed the white on this side and the white on this side from a small little, just a little square. Okay? So that's a way of doing it as well. So let me get this piece and then a few things pieced together, and I'm gonna show you how I make the block. Okay? But I do need, this is the quickest way. The quickest way is to have all your colors in strips. The longer the strip, the better. And then it's so much easier than me cutting these little blocks and then piecing them back together. You know? So here's one with the solid in the middle, and this is a one after I put the 3 pieces together, and then I cut it into 2 inches, and then I end up with these 2. I need 2 of these and only 1 of these. One with this solid color in the middle. So I'm gonna have 1 on this side and 1 on that side, and that's gonna make the block. Let me show you. Let me see. No, that's a solid in the middle. That's a solid in the middle. I need 2 with no solid in the middle. Okay, here we go. So I need to put these. See, I don't want to lose these little pieces. Where my little can at? There we go. So in order to make these blocks, one side, I don't want to lose them. So the block goes 1 in the middle, with the solid in the middle and 2 with the solid on the ends. See how that go? And when I end up sewing that together, that'll be my block. So that's why y'all see me piece stripping. I'm doing what we call get some of these things. Now things are out of order because the way I'm doing them, but once I sew the strips, then I cut the strips into 2 little inches, and then I go in and I start sewing them together. Okay, so what you're seeing me do before I start talking, you see me sewing the strips together. I have a few of them that's together. It depends on how I feel, depends on what stage I decide to do, what I decide to do, in that moment or for that night, for that session, okay? And my goal is to constantly sew, trying to sew something every day, a little bit. Now, it does depend on what I feel like sewing. It might be a little bit of this project, or I might sew another project. Or somebody might order something from me, and I might have to sew on that. I'm trying to do this. Yesterday, I worked in the garden so hard and so long. By the time I came in, I was so tired. I went to sleep, and I slept the entire day. Okay, so I'm going to put these right here because I'm going to work on this. After I finish this one strip, I'm going to show y'all this, okay? I'm going to move these out the way. Put these in the bag out the way. So every time I do a strip, I pay attention to where I'm placing things, okay, because that's important, okay, because I won't be able to work on anything until I have, I got to make sure I have the solid color. I have to have a piece with the solid color in the middle, and I have a piece with the solid color on both sides. I hope that makes sense, okay. I promise you it's easy. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it correctly, but so I'm going to put the talking back on. Give me a second. And then I'm going to commence the sewing. I'm going to do this and then I'm going to change. And show y'all.
Take a page out of Sherelle book, you know what I'm saying? She didn't even wait till it got hot. She's like, you know what?
I thought tonight was about to be about Kendra G, and we talking. I don't know who.
Oh, we still got the Kendra G. Oh, we still got Kendra. Kendra G was talking crazy to y'all niggas. I don't think I was included. But hey, man. Let's play a little bit more of this. We ain't gonna watch it out because after a while Sexy Red continue her show without Venus and Jalen, right? Because it did get.
So do she play it back and let her hear that she said her family's not Puerto Rican?
You know what? She actually played this shit back. That shit was. I felt embarrassed for Jalen. I felt secondhand embarrassment. You know what I mean? Let me play that shit.
I want to see that embarrassment. Yeah, I want to see it.
But yeah, he does that. He just lacks leadership. And then when I tried to get you,
I heard a woman say, "I want to see that embarrassment." That's our problem, right? Problem is, we need to see somebody be embarrassed. Any of us could be wrong. We could have misheard, but they don't see. They are going based on what they're hearing in the moment. For those of us who've been around for a minute, we have heard, we know how one of these women, how she attacks people. She attacks people, she won't say their name, but you'll know she's talking about you. Because she's referenced things that you have done personally. Like, so Jalen have done some things. So this woman has attacked Jalen. But then she was saying she don't know Jalen. When Jalen was up there with her and she made a few comments, do I think she was talking about Jalen in particular during this conversation? No. But she knew Jalen was up there, and that's when she mentioned, You know, she mentioned her that group of people. I don't think she was really talking about Jalen in this instance, but that's how she moved. She moved by talking about you without mentioning your name, and then when you go up there and say, you know, and confront her about it, she then starts saying, "Well, I wasn't talking about you. I wasn't talking about you. When did I mention your name, girl? Girl, you know what I mean? They think they're smarter than everybody. So she's telling people, I don't even know her. Yes, she does know her. She know her. She spoke about her in a negative way many times. But now her play is she don't know her. And instead of Jalen just speaking that, Jalen then goes off on her little tantrum too. Right? Because she's like, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of this woman attacking me. Okay? But anyway, I think they both have something in on what the world they talking about. There we go. Aaron said, I am considering our heritage, but what are we listening to? I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm listening to YouTube drama, Aaron. Okay? I'm listening to YouTube drama. It's in another portion of YouTube, and there's arguments and conversations. It's really the red pill area. It's almost like the men versus the women. But for some reason, the women, we get in arguments too. I apologize. Okay? I didn't really think people would come and look at me piecing together this. So I usually listen to it on mute while I'm sewing. But then some people told me they want to hear something. So I was like, well, I don't want to talk. You know, I do not want to talk. I just want to sew. But I do want to listen to the drama on YouTube, okay? So I'm mixing up two of my hobbies. Me sewing and me listening to the drama. Okay? But I do apologize. I will mute. I put my headset in and listen to them. But the drama is crazy. Girl. It's almost like peeking in on listening to things that you don't have nothing to do with it. And you just listening to how people interact. Now, I will say that I don't look at TV. So this is my way of, you know, being entertained. I do understand, because I'm an older woman, I understand that younger people, when we're on the internet, we are acting in ways we may not necessarily act in real life, like in person. And so it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. That's all. But I apologize. Yeah, it's almost like listening to the soaps, but these are real people. And the thing is, but they're not. It's like the soaps aren't real, right? Remember? But they're acting. A lot of people on the internet, we do the same. I do the same thing. I get up there, I like cracking jokes on people, having fun, talking about things, and just doing things that I wouldn't do in my everyday outside in the real world thing. But everybody knows that about me. You know, they know that Bob may get up there and give them pushback on what we're talking about on purpose. Sometimes the pushback is on purpose, because I may agree with them to a degree, but I'm making them stand on. The pushback is to see if they really mean what they're saying. You know, and it's just for the sake of conversation. I've been on the internet a long time. I enjoy it. What I don't like is when there's a group of people who don't understand that this isn't real life. And so they end up either making it real life in their life, or, yeah, they don't understand. So people starting to hate each other, which is ridiculous. It's crazy, but that's a whole nother topic. Let me get to what I'm doing. Okay, so with this quilt and the style of quilting I'm doing now, I did not learn this as a kid. I actually learned this online, and it's almost, I want to say the younger people, or maybe somebody sat down and said, because I do it all the time. Like when I follow a pattern, somebody's pattern. I'm like, well, why do it this way? Why not do it that way? Which there's no one right way. There's many ways to skin a cat. You know what I mean? That is my dad used to say. Okay, there's many ways to skin a cat, and it don't have to be in the certain steps. And so I feel like maybe somebody sat down who know how to quilt, and they was like, well, why? I got a better way. Let me try it this way. And I like this, and it's quicker and faster. And I was like, wow, you mean I don't have to work on the quilt for a whole year? Even if I was working on this quilt by hand, which the truth is, do I think I can work on it quicker by hand? No. So I'm just gonna be quicker. But I think there's some positives to working by hand. Keep your hand busy, right? That's one thing. But another one is cleaner stitches. As far as when you're connecting things, you don't need a whole 1/4 of a seam allowance, because if you sewing by hand, you could really grab the tippy, you know what I mean, and connect things without that much of a seam allowance. But it doesn't take a year to make a quilt. I can make a quilt in a day. What? Oh my God. Anyway, when I saw I could make a quilt in a day, I said, well, let me get into quilting. So I make bags and clothing. I've always made clothing. I learned to make bags here on YouTube. I was like, wow. When I was like, wait, I can make my own bag? All I need is interfacing. Or it's called a stabilizer. Interfacing and stabilizer could be used interchangeably, but not always. So I had to learn about the stabilizer and the interfacing. And once I learned about that, wow, I don't need nobody's patterns, nobody nothing, because I pattern everything myself. Anyway, so let me see what I have. So right here, all I've done so far is sewing these two pieces together. I'm not gonna play them. I'll catch that on the replay. That, by the way, that was live. Okay, what I was playing was live. They're doing a live stream right now. They funny. It's funny over there. Okay, so y'all see when I pieced this together, I had the blue in the middle. Now I need double the amount of the blue on each side. So I kind of calculate, and when I'm looking at what I'm sewing, I figure out, okay, do I have enough, and how many strips can I make out of this? Because I'm not measuring. When I cut these pieces, because they came from yardage, I just folded my white up, and I cut it in a 2-inch strip. I took the blue and did the same thing, cut the blue, and that's what I'm working with. Okay. So I have this blue in the center, and I need enough blue for the both sides. And I'm gonna show y'all how I cut that in the next step. Okay. So I need blue on each side of the white. So let me stop here. Normally I do a whole strip. I go down a whole strip with different colors. But because when I'm live and I notice people might be listening, you notice even online, when people are making their quilts, half of the quilt is already done. Actually, the quilt is already done. They just showing you how to put together a block. And even then, they have all their pieces already cut out and ready. And even then, they already have, like, they may show you them sewing one side, but then they'll pull out a whole piece saying, see, this is the end result. But I'm really putting this quilt together, okay? There's no me quickly having the magic of YouTube. I don't have the magic of YouTube on my side, but I could, right? Because here's the one with the two blues on the side, already done. Okay, so this piece is in the center. See that piece with the blue in the center, and this piece with the blues on both sides. And this piece is a lot longer than this piece. So essentially, I just need double of the white in the center than I do of the blue in the center. Okay, so I just eyeballed it, to be honest. There's no measurements that I took except cutting my strips. When I start sewing them together, I'm not. Now, if you don't want to have waste, then you might want to do the measurements. So let me show you the next step. We're gonna use one that I already have. Let me see. I have one that's already kind of ready for me to cut. Uh-oh. I hate that I do that. Something fell. What fell? Oh, I pushed it in the back. Oh, man. That means it's something small, too. I keep things in these little holders like this. It'd be little tiny little pieces. And then I just pushed one of them off. Now it's in a hard spot to get to. And they little tiny pieces of something. Anyway, let me get to the next step. Okay, I gotta find one. I have to. Okay, here they go over here. Okay, so let's go with this. Okay. So I have the piece in the middle, and I have the piece with them on the side. See, same fabric. So I've already done the markings. And what are the markings? As you can see, I have marks here because I measured 2 inches. Remember, my strips are done in 2 inches. This is a 2-inch strip. This is a 2-inch strip. This is a 2-inch strip. Okay? And then I sewed them together. Now, I need these to be 2-inch strips. See, that's why you can do it in strips, because you're going to end up cutting it anyway. Right? So it's easier for you. It's easier for, oh, wait, is that the fabric doing that? Yes, it is. Don't pull that bomb. This is good, soft fabric. This fabric right here is actually not a quilting cotton. It's actually it's soft cotton. I was gonna make a dress out of it, but I liked it, so I said I'm gonna put it in my quilt. It's not stiff at all. I couldn't make it stiff. People tell you can make it stiff. You know, you can spray starch on it. You don't have to do none of that. Okay? There's a lot of things they tell you to do that you don't have to do. This fabric sews greatly under my sewing machine. Why do I need to stiffen it up? Who gonna have a stiff quilt on their bed? It's ridiculous. I know some people be wanting to stiffen theirs up that they put interfacing on. I'm like, what? Why would you do that? You wouldn't, but you could. But it doesn't make much sense. It doesn't help or hurt. Okay, it could hurt. Actually, you can make it too stiff. So check it out. So I did the markings already, and then I'm gonna cut them. I can use my rotary cutter, or I can use my scissors. Right now, it's easier for me to use my scissors, okay? Also, what I could also do, I could have just measured the 2 inches on one, which I have done when I got lazy. And I put them on top of each other. And then as I cut one, I cut the other. And let me tell you, it does not have to be perfect, y'all. I can assure you, I haven't cut any of my strips with my rotary cutter. I actually been just using scissors. And I can promise you, it's not perfectly straight. So that doesn't matter. People be like, cut that little piece off. It gotta be, no. Why? It's not that serious. Okay? You're wasting your time. And also, yeah, so I measure. And so what I'm gonna do, and because I did measure them, I'm gonna just cut. And let me also tell you, this is not a disappearing ink. This is not, this is a regular ink pen. Regular ink pen. People be like, you need disappearing ink. You only need disappearing ink or things like that when your markings will be somewhere in the center of whatever you're making. Like if I was quilting this, and the item, right? Let's say I would like this, for instance, because I ended up embroidering that on this fabric, and then I put some lines to quilt on them. I use a disappearing, actually, if I'm correct, this is chalk. I use chalk to put these lines here. And then the lines won't go away. Now, you probably can't see them. I can see them. I think if somebody purchased this from me, they could see it. Not only that, I washed it. And still those lines are there. Now, I'm going to be honest. First of all, most of that stuff do not disappear. And when it does, it comes back depending on the circumstances, right? Something that disappears with the heat, when it's cold, it reappears. Things that disappear with the air, well, it depends on which one, because they got one where when there's no wind, it just appears out of nowhere. And then they got newer ones, though, where it just disappeared just due to time. It'll disappear. But we got to think scientifically when we buy things and when they offer us things. Like, what will make it disappear? And you mean I got to put heat on it for it to disappear? What happens when it's in my house and there's no heat? You know what I mean? Like, it's cool in my house. Will it reappear? And yes, the answer is yes on some of these things. They have made some changes to some of these things. But this is chalk. And the chalk won't come out. Now, what I will say, so that's why I did it, and then I didn't finish the project. I noticed it. Some of the chalks that we buy, because I bought it from China, oh my God, big mistake, has an oil in it. So I promise you, this was just chalk. At least that's what they say. So I marked it out. And I noticed that it wouldn't brush off. Normal chalk just brushes right off. That chalk wasn't brushing right off. And so I was like, oh my God, like, I already took my time and embroidered on it. Like, I'm like, what am I going to do with these lines? So I washed it. I put it in laundry, right? I put it in my washer and dryer. And them lines are still there. Now, if I quilt, see, that's the good thing. If I use the lines to quilt, I mean my sewing, my stitch line will be there, right? You may not notice it as much. So I don't think anybody would notice it. That's the only thing that saved this. Okay? That's the only thing that may have saved this. But I take fabrics from items that, people don't wear, trying to save the fabric so it don't go to landfill, and cut it. This was a piece of pajama pants. So when I sell this item, I sell it as an upcycle item. Okay? And it's the perfect color for the AKAs. Okay? Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm talking about sewing things. Okay, so you don't need your stuff don't need to be perfect. That's what scares people from trying. They're like, oh, suppose my line's not straight. Suppose this, suppose that. I promise you it don't need to be that, all of that. Okay? Don't worry about that kind of stuff. Your colors don't have to match in quotes. If you go and look at your grandmother's quotes, they didn't, like, it depends on how old it is, but you're going to find jean material mixed up with linens, mixed up with this, that, and third. And they didn't cut perfectly good fabrics just to make a quilt. They didn't do that. What they generally did was repurpose the fabric, what we call today upcycle. A pair of jeans that the family went through, all the kids them warm until they couldn't. And now you're not having no more kids. You realize, okay, it's not in the best shape for your grandkids. So then you decide what you're going to do with it next. Okay. Is this quicker to cut with your rotary cutter? Yes. That's if you have one. Yes, it is. Okay. But do you need a rotary cutter? No, you do not. Be careful with those rotary cutters. You will cut your finger off. It'll be too late by the time you notice it. Because the way you use it, you go, you've been cut the whole finger off by the time you're like, oh my God, before you realize, before the pain hit, you done cut the whole tip of your finger off. Okay? Be very careful with those rotary cutters, please. Make sure that you keep your fingers out the way. There's so many little accidents like that. Okay, so that is the ones with the color in the middle. Remember, I need less of those than these, because the way the block is made, see, the way the block is made, you have less of these, because you need 2 of these to each block. 1 of these and 2 of these. That means you need double the amount of these. And that's how I figured it in my head. I was like, oh, so it's 2 to 1, right? 2 to 1. It's 2 of these to 1 of those. Okay, and so that's the reason I'm good at mat, certain types of mat, is because I think along the lines of that. It's really simple when you think of it that way. And then you don't really have to do no measurements, okay? You don't have to know the exact numbers. I don't need to know if something is 6 inches or not. My scissors is not in the best of shape. I will admit that I did get this out of a sewing kit that I bought about 10 years ago. It came in a kit. But they've been working well. They starting to dull down. I use them a lot. The tips are good, but now I can't get them sharpened, but I don't know if they work getting sharpened, okay? I have to check out what kind of steel is on them. I'll make a decision then if I'm just going to buy me a pair. These things went through a whole lot of items with me. Yeah, I don't even cut perfect, because you can still see some of the line. You don't have to cut perfectly. You just want generally, just cut it around that area as close as you can. You know what I mean? A smidge off, it's not gonna make a difference. You won't see it at all. People act like, oh no, but if you know, they'll say what they call it, a scant 1/4 inch. I'm like, a scant really doesn't matter, baby. Either way. Okay, so remember, so I cut. If I use 1 of these, I'm gonna need 2 of these. And that's gonna make that block. Okay. Now, how do you put that together? Let's put them to the side. So they sewn in rows already. So I'm just gonna sew this row to this row. And then I'm gonna take this and sew this on to those 2 rows like that. So let's do that really quickly. And you have to make sure that you sew them right. Okay. In the beginning, it doesn't matter, because as long as you don't sew these 2 together, you're good. So keep one of those out the way and just sew these together. Okay. Doesn't matter if I sew it on this end or that end. It doesn't matter. No. Doesn't matter about your way these go. Could I iron it? If I ironed it, what I noticed is, if I feel like ironing, I will. Ironing does help sometimes. What I would do is take and the solid color, the white, I don't. I take the ends and fold it away from the white. So for this one, these two would go inside like that, right? Because these two are the whites, and I don't want any of that behind the white. And then on this one, I will iron it that way. Okay. Do I have to though? It does help sometimes. When I started doing that, because people say it locks it in place, I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't lock anything in place for me. So I'm gonna tell you what I do. I come here and I line up the stitching. Don't look too much at the back stitching too much, but you can. I put those together and then I hold it with my fingers like that. I know that's in place. Then I take these two, and remember, because my actual stitching may not be accurate. My cutting. So I'm not caring if this matches or not. I don't care to go in and make sure these 2 points match at the end. I don't care about that. What I care about is these points right here in the center matching up. These two. All I care about is those two matching up. And to be honest, I'm not really caring about that neither. It don't have to be exact. I'm gonna show you some of mine aren't, but you wouldn't know if I didn't tell you. But see how I'm doing? I'm making sure my fingers stay definitely on this one because I'm gonna sew this way. And then I'm gonna take this and my line these up. And I do not care about the very beginning if it lines at the top or not. Don't care about that. I drop my needle. Now, my stitching, I do not back stitch, and the reason I don't back stitch is because I don't have to. My stitching is at 1.6, okay? My normal stitching length is usually 2.5. For me, 2.5 on my machine is a natural stitch. So I went down to 1.6. And what that does, that's just a tight stitch. And why is it don't look like my machine is. Yeah, it's not. Maybe I didn't. Oh, I haven't sewn on it. So I didn't thread the machine. Okay, cool. Make sure my needle is all the way up. And this threads my machine for me. Okay. So just take those. Make sure those ends is as good as it could be. If you do that, then it'll be better. Okay. I do have a 1/4 foot stitch foot on that helps guide. Okay. As long as my fabric stay along that, I'm good. If you don't have one of those, then there's another way that I show people how to make sure they keep a 1/4 inch. Okay, so I want this and that to match. And then I'm gonna just sew. And what happens if it don't match? We're gonna see. I'm gonna show you. And see, they matched up good. You see that? That line, that point, they matched up good. They don't always match up that great. Okay, I do have some I'll show you, but I promise nobody's noticing on no quilt. Okay, I think we're harder on ourselves, and they do have people with called OCD. Like they literally just cannot, they have OCD. We have people, so there's a lot of people with OCD trying to teach and educate people how to do things. And all they doing is teaching you to be OCD like they are on their projects. I don't want to be OCD. I am not I just can't. I can't. I suffer from other things. OCD would make my situation worse. You know, I suffer from PTSD. Can you imagine something not being straight because somebody told me it had to be and it needs to be perfectly, and then all of a sudden I go in a panic attack because I can't get it and straight? It'll drive me crazy. And other people can teach you to have their issues. You just don't be knowing you have their issues because you don't consider that. You just was taught that way. And so you thinking, oh, no, it has to meet perfectly. It has to meet perfectly. No, it doesn't. There you go. Okay. Another thing I like about the block, if you look, you could tell that I have some overlap right there, but everything else matches. The thing that I was concerned about, that's why I told you, just be concerned about these areas meeting up. And because it's not iron, it look like this is smaller, but it's just that it hasn't been ironed yet. When it's ironed, it'll look nice. The overlap, don't worry about that because you come in, when you do all your blocks, you measure the ones that you think are short, and whatever you'll trim it up, right, on one side, take the measurement, and then if you realize that the block may be 6 inches, most of the blocks are supposed to be 6 inches, but one of them fall below the 6 inches. Maybe it falls a little shy, 1/4 of an inch below. Then you would take that block and, you know, shape the other ones, size the other ones to the smallest block you have. But you don't even have to do that. Like, you could really squeeze in, by the time you get this whole quilt done, whatever's lacking on this one square, let's say if it was lacking, you can fudge that in. You'll be able to, you know, take a little bit from here, and you'll be able to make that mat fit in there. You don't have to do what I just said. Some people suggest that, though. Okay. Do I recommend that you iron things? I do. I think it'll keep it easier. When you're new, it's easier for you. Once you get it, though, you realize, oh, my God, I don't have to iron 8. I don't have to iron this one little piece 8 times before it's done. Be sitting here ironing for most of the day. Okay, so we're going to do this quickly. Y'all saw how I did it, right? I sewed this piece to 2 whites for 1, right? And then I sewed this piece to 2 of these pieces to 1 white to get that. And then you end up sewing them together and you get that. And that's just one of the squares. They all should be about the same size, though. When I put this one, which is ironed and everything, against this one, you can see the overlap. Just in that one spot where the overlap is. So I think once I kind of just trim this up, it'll be the size that it should be. Okay? Anyway, any questions about that? I hope not. Let's see. So I wanted to show y'all how to put the block together, but I have to make 90 of these, and if I count what I do not have 90. I think I might be at 20. Okay, I might be at 20, but I'm at 20, but I've done a lot of the work. Okay, which meaning I just have to go in, cut them up, and then put them together. I've sewn the strips together for most of them, and even some of them I have cut up. So I'm going to do the ones that I have cut up so I can get these small pieces out of my way. Because it starts confusing me. Not confusing you, but confusing me when I have all these little pieces half done. So I have a lot of these little pieces in my little area. So I separate the strips. because that means they haven't been sewn yet, from the pieces that have been sewn and possibly cut into the strips that is needed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to work on these, and I'm going to be quiet. Y'all might be able to hear my husband snoring in the background. That's okay. I'm going to put music in my ears or something. I can't put the music in my ears. What is that? Is that something on my phone? It's red up there. Okay. So I'm going to take these little pieces that I have and I'm going to put them together. Now, there are scrappy quilts. What is a scrappy quilt? Wait, I could take all these pieces and in no order, no rhyme or reason, just start stitching them together. Stitch those two together. Then take this one and stitch that together. And, you know, and just, that's called a scrappy quilt. They come out really nice as well. You know, so I could stitch that with that, with that, with that. That would be called a scrappy quilt. Okay. The only thing you might not want is two of the same colors to touch, but you don't care about anything else. And you could do a easy, fast quilt that way. This quilt that I'm making, I have a design in mind. Okay. So it's not scrappy. So see, I ended up with a lot of pieces with the centers. That's when I had to pay attention to which one, when I need more of. I need less of these, but more of, and I don't think I have any with, oh my goodness. So I only have one here with the two on the sides instead of in the center. In the beginning, I had it backwards in my mind. I thought I needed more of these than these, but I need, actually, it was in the reverse. I need more of these than these, okay? So you go with you. I only have one of these, so I can't make anything with just one of those. Put you there till I see if I have any more, or I'm making. Okay, so one of these. I'm gonna put these together and these together. Can you see that? Like, you could tell my cutting of the let me see what that. Yeah, I don't know what the hell I was thinking about when I made this. Oh, I think this is an N. Okay, so you know how, so that's why I got a size. I gotta look at the measurements of this real quick. So I end up with the ends that don't match, and then I kind of toss it to the side, and it should be tossed in my scrappy area, my scraps, because the white on this is the problem. So I don't throw them away, I just put them in another area, and it looks like I didn't, because these are my little scraps. Okay, they end up being little bits and pieces, see, that are too small, but you don't throw them away, because I can make something with this. Okay, I can eyeball and tell, though. I was able to eyeball that and tell that something was wrong with that. Okay, you go with you. You go my browns. You could tell that the way I did the browns was different than the strips. I like that brown. I like that. I ended up making hats using this khaki color. I made a couple of bucket hats, and I think I made some shoes with that khaki color as well. Some sneakers. I think, yeah, that's the one. So let me see. You go, you, and you go here. You go, you. Okay, let's put these together. Camera move. Let me find my earbuds. No, that's not gonna work. Forget it. Let me just work. Okay, so I have these and these. I just need one of these to every two of those, okay? One from here, two from here. One from here, two. Two from here. Okay, and then that's all I'm gonna be able to do because then I'm gonna put those to the side with these green ones that I can't make any. So out of all those, I'm only gonna be able to make 2 blocks. Okay, and then I need to put these together. Let's see. I do have another white block. I might be able to make another purple one over there. So I got you. Let's see. See, I end up with too many of those. That's the browns. So I need more of these than these, but I end up with more of these than these. That's because I didn't cut that whole strip down. Okay, so I'm gonna have to cut some more of these. But okay, let me just do what I have here. That's ready. Can't do these yet. So let's get these done. Just make sure you don't, as long as you don't sew 2 whites together, okay? Take the first 2 that look different and do what I said. Like I said, make sure your middles match up. That's what you're more concerned with. Not really caring if the ends match up or not. They would match up though if I cared about sewing straight. I mean, cutting straight. So that is the advantage of cutting straight. Everything will kind of line up for you. And because I have that guide, I could just go right across. Oh, Lordy, that was. Okay. Kind of keep that together like that. Did I have another one? Yes, I do. This one is white. This one. Measure it up. And center, and then grab that. Okay. Take it off. Separate them like that. Get this white one on. Yeah. Line that up as best I can. Now, let me also show you. So if I lined up, see how there's a portion here that's way off. In fact, you could tell that this isn't cut straight at all. You see that? But what helps that? You don't have to really worry about that. Some people go and they'll be like, oh my God, it's not cut straight. Don't worry about that. If you do what I am saying, right? Wait. First, we're going to make sure we attaching that to the right side. If I touch it to this side, that's the wrong side. Touch it to this side, right? So let me show you. Now, if I align all my edges together, the middle not going to meet up. See, you can see through this white. You can see that. You see? But you don't care about that. You match these up together. And then line this up, right? When you do that, then this side should line up. you might have to adjust it this way to get it lined up. You might adjust it this way to get it lined up. You see that? And you just, when you line those up, just follow. And then that little extra, that part, well, actually I'm using the wrong side. Let me flip it like this, because my point not being made. Okay, you line this up. You line those two up like that. And when you line the rest of it up, you see that point is out. You don't have to really worry about that. You're going to sew just right across. Okay. And over here, sometimes you make, to get it to match up, you got to adjust it. So that's how you'll do it. Okay. And your adjustment, you got to pay attention what is lining those up. That's why people say iron it, because it will help you a little bit. Because then you got to pay attention to which way you're ironing. It's a lot. It's a lot. But it's not that difficult. I'm not cutting anything extra off of here. I'm going to sew right across that. Okay, it's going to be more in the seam allowance. I'm back stitching only because, I don't know, I put it too far ahead. That's the only reason. Okay, let me see. Okay, there we go. It's now on there. And I'm going to make sure that matches up. And I might lift that up to get it, because it's going to cut that off a little bit. The way it's going to sew above that. Now you see how this one's off? I knew it was going to be off because it says off. But you wouldn't have known if I wouldn't have showed you. You wouldn't know it in the quilt, and I'm not going to worry about it. Okay? That's going to stay that way. Yes. I have several of them like that. That's what happened. Now, if you want to be meticulous, like if you do have OCD, you're not going to want that to be that way. Okay? But see that extra that was there? It just comes right off. You don't have to do it now. You don't have to ever do it. Okay? But you can do it. But and my 1/4 inch is still there. My 1/4 inch is still there. I just cut that off. 1/4 inch. And that's not even where it messed up at. That equaled out right where it should. Where it messed up at was on this side over here. I think because I didn't straighten the middle one. I didn't pull it at this end to get that. But, okay. Am I undoing that? I am not. And anybody who tell me they undoing that, I'm like, what? I guess it depends on what kind of quilt you're making. What kind of quilt are you making? When people going to go and look and see that. When this quilt come together, it's going to be so pretty. And I promise you, nobody going to be looking to say, oh, that don't align with that, and that don't align with that, that don't align with that. In fact, it's a quilt. You don't even notice the lines, per se. You notice the design that you're making with the colors. Now, if you're making stars, right? If it's a star, or you're making circles, those things might be a little more important. Only up to a certain degree, even then. But yeah, they do have people making stars. Wait. Gotta see what side I gotta sew from. It would, and I assure you, yes, it would be easier for me if I had cut these pieces more exact. Okay, so I'm not saying that cutting a little more exact doesn't matter, because it helps. What I'm saying though is that if you don't cut more exact, it's okay. That's what I'm saying. It's still, you still gonna make your quilt. You don't have to take loose that quilt. I see people taking stuff for loose. Oh my God, I had to seam rip, or it's called unpicking. Okay, there's a difference between unpicking and seam ripping, although it's basically the same result. Is where you're undoing something you did. But these stitches at 1.6 is not good to unpick. It takes forever. It just feels like it takes forever because the stitches are much smaller. Okay, there we go. And you can tell where it doesn't match up, only because I'm doing it up close and personal. But from afar, that block looked like that block should look. Okay. Let's see, did I have enough for this one? I need, no, do not. Okay, I hope I gave y'all the basics of what I'm doing. And now what I'm about to do is finish sewing. Less talking. Okay, so let me see what I got over here. I have that. I need to, that's the same. What I have over here, they're the same. Hobby is in another world. I'm not sure if this 2 inches. Let me see. It's a little, see, sometimes this is a little shy of 2 inches. It looked like it might be 2 inches on this side. On this side, I could tell. Now, let me see how much shy of 2 inches is it. Yeah. So up here is at 2 inches. Now, I did cut it this way, but it was already, like, these are scraps, right? So it was already scrappy, and I was trying to just get as much of it as I could. I'm noticing when you get about here, that's when, and it looked like it's like it's an eighth of an inch off from 2 inches, right? So what does that mean? How do I fix it if I want to use it? Well, 1/8 is 1/8 off, and if I push this over like that, if I sew it 1/4 of an inch, then I can make this work. This piece will fit. So what is a scant? A scant 1/4 of an inch. So 1/4 of an inch. Let me see. That's an eighth of an inch, and that's a fourth of an inch. A scant of a fourth of an inch is like in the center between this eighth and the fourth. It's just a little tiny little bit. Okay, a little. So you can get things to fit and meet. You just need to know how much off, how much do you need to do it, where you need to do it. So I'm gonna cut these. I'm gonna sew this to a strip. And I also have this one. See this? So I had little pieces, and I was trying to get 2 inches because I'm gonna use I think it's the last little piece, last little bits. Okay, I'm gonna put that to the side till when I'm ready. Same with this. This was my last little bits of pieces, and I want to make strips. Now, if I can't make strips, I'll go in and I'll cut them into squares. So as you can see on this side, I have it prepared to cut into squares. And I look like I was only able to get two 2-inch squares. So if I cut here, I'm not even gonna cut it on directly on the line. That's 2-inch squares. Okay. And even on this piece, you can see where I already kind of measured it. And I knew that this one gonna be a perfect 2-inch square. And then here and here and here, that's when I gotta start making changes if I want it to fit. Okay. Now, do I need it to fit? I don't even have to put it into this quilt. I can use it for a whole nother project. You could do that too. But I like the fabric. It's the last little bits, and I am going to end up making it fit. Same thing I did with this, like I said, with this color here. Okay, which is this color. I have to do some piecing, figuring out the sizes, and I did the measurements. So sometimes when I'm not sewing, doesn't mean I'm not working on a quilt. It just means that I'm doing something else on the quilt. Taking measurements, trying to figure out how to fit those colors in. I'm not wealthy, so I'm not over here trying to buy $50 strips of fabric. $58, $108. I'm not doing that. You got me all the way effed up, okay? All the way confused. You got, I'm not, what am I gonna do with that quilt? Where the fabric alone costs $108? It's gonna take me $300 worth of my time to even sew it together. Nobody is buying that quilt for, $500. Okay? I don't even know if it's a quilt that's worth $500. Not by no sewing machine. Maybe if we talk about me sewing it by hand. The fabric, and basically what I'm saying, that fabric should not cost $108. And that's cake layers. That means this is a cake layer. Let me see, I do have some. I cut them myself. I was thinking about buying that accurate. So this is a 5-inch square. So when I was making the 5-inch squares, I said, because I do need the 5-inch square. Because remember, I'm not sure if you know, but my squares come out to be 5 inches. Okay, see? So the 5-inch squares in white is what's going in between each one. Okay, now the reason why this 5-inch square, because on the white 5-inch squares, when I do my block B, I'm gonna end up making these 5-inch squares I think they end up being like 2.5 inches, and it's for another piece design in block B. Okay, for the colorful ones. So since I do need those 5-inch squares, I make cake layers. Cake layers, that's a 10-inch square. So I have 10-inch squares of the different fabrics that's gonna be in this quilt. And it's easier for me to cut out 10 inches, but then I'm gonna end up cutting this 10-inch into 5 inches square, which means I'm gonna cut here and here. So I just thought it was easier for me to just measure out, because I am cutting out from yardage. Let me measure out 10-inch squares. And then when I'm ready, I'll cut these down to what I need them to be. So even though when I'm not sewing, doesn't mean I'm not working on this quilt. There's many different facets, many different things I have to do. So when people want me to make them a quilt, and they want me to sell them a quilt for under $100, I'm like, I don't do quilts. I've been saying I don't do quilts for, it gotta be 15 years. Every time somebody find out I sew, oh, you do quilts? Nah. And do I do Quilts, yes. Nobody, these people don't want to pay. Okay? Because if I buy a cake layer, we still talking close to $100 that I still have to go in and cut. So it depends on the size of the quilt they want. Generally, people want queen size, or they want king size, or they want California king size. Now, a baby quilt, that's different. Okay, I can do a baby quilt for about $100 without no problem. That's a different thing in itself. Okay, most definitely. But anything other than that, the fabrics cost, and then, but it's mostly time, and people don't think they should pay for your time. And then they always think your time, they'll be like, oh, you can't tell me you was at a sewing machine for 80 hours, ladies. That's what they tell me. I'm like, what do you mean? Even if I wasn't at the sewing machine for 80 hours, I was working on your quilt. It's more than me actually doing the sewing, lady. For, like, the design in itself, I promise you, I never charge anybody for designing their quilt. But I can tell you, it could take up to 5 hours or more just for me to come up with the calculations to make your quilt. Unless, like, if you see a quilt that I've already have, you want that exact quilt, just in different fabrics. You want that exact quilt. Then that means I've already designed it. I already know, hopefully I wrote it down, know exactly what I need. But even then, that's still not it, right? Because let's say I make a quilt. You like the design. You just want different colors. You want your colors organized. You tell me how you want them. I still have to go in and say, okay, well, I have this color in this quilt. They want this color. So I still have to do that. I still have to know, instead of you wanting purple, you want another color. Okay. So I have to know how many of these purples in your color, how many of those I need. You know what I mean? You don't want white. You don't even want it. You might want 3, 4 colors in your coat instead of just 2. Yeah. So that's a design portion to it. I've never charged anyone for it, but I regretted it. I regretted not charging them, because if I have to take upwards 5 hours to design your quilt, then I think I should get paid. I don't think that should be considered just free. And then they don't consider that I have to cut the fabric. Even when I make you a shirt, like, people don't understand. I made you a whole outfit, lady. Or even if you, and I suggest people buy their fabrics, because I love when they buy their own fabrics. I say, hey, you buy your fabrics, and I'm gonna charge you this rate. And that's when they understand, when they have to go and buy and pay $100. They be wanting the best fabrics too, right? See, I like when they buy their own fabric, because I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear you tell me you don't like that fabric. Like, you told me what you wanted, and then I go and buy the fabric, and then you could easily come back and say, well, I don't like those fabrics. No, you buy the fabrics, honey. Send them to me. Okay? You buy the fabrics, you send it to me, and I'm going to charge you this amount of money to make this outfit for you. They'll learn their lesson then. They be like, wow, I went to the fabric store. I let them look for what they want. They don't usually want to pay that. Then they'll start negotiating. They'll start figuring out what fabrics they can afford, and then that's a different case. With me though, if I buy the fabric, they're gonna blame me. Oh, I didn't like the quality of the fabric. Lady, you only want to pay this amount of money. The fabrics cost money. Okay? Anyway, I'm running my mouth. Let me see what colors I don't have done in the square so I can get at least 1 or 2 of them done. So I can at least, I want to be able to put block A together. So when I put it out and say, see, this is block A. Here is block B. But I don't have block A or B completed yet. And that's because I do want at least, I need, in each block, in block A, I definitely want I want 5 different colors. So right now, I don't think I have 5 different block colors yet. Let's see what I do have. That's because I don't have a few of them completed yet. Let's see. I have purple blocks. But then I have this purple block too. Okay. Truly, I don't want, even though they're 2 different blocks. You see, I don't really want them in the same block. If I can help it. But if I, and I have this teal block. So I have that. And you. I don't want 2 teal blocks, even though they're different. I don't want them in the same block. I have a brown block. Where the rest of my blocks? Here, well, my can is here, but I don't see them. I didn't put them in there. That means they're sitting around somewhere. Here's my little strips. Okay, I have this green block. I have some more of these. Must be sitting over here. Oh, I put them in a bag. Okay. Then I have another teal block. So I actually have 3 different kind of teal blocks. Even though they're different, I do not want them together in the same block. Go with you and you go with you. So I'm only going to have a couple of these blocks. Like I said, I had minimum fabric. Even I had to do some fudging to these blocks because the fabric color, you know, I didn't have the right side. But they ended up working out, right? I called it fudging or getting it to fit. You could get it to fit. Okay? So I have that block. And then I have this. I like this. I don't like a lot of it close. So I like that I could put it in a quilt block. So I kind of ended up liking that. So right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different blocks completed. Okay, I feel like I have more. Oh, 9, because I just did that one as well. So I have others that haven't been done yet. I have a gray, I have a pink that's gonna be done. Okay, I have a bright green that's gonna be done. I have a green in the flowery instead of the polka dots. Okay, that gotta be done. I have a blue, a dark kind of blue, what you call it, navy blue, that needs to be done. So the ones that I need to be done, that's what I'm about to work on with the strips. Okay, so so I can have, and I have an apple, I have a light blue. So this is the darker blue, and that's the lighter blue that needs to be done. But I have that done in strips, so I can make a block right now if I wanted to on that. Okay, so I think I want to get some blocks done, some blocks that I don't have done yet. And the ones that I can get done, because they're halfway done, is the ones I want to work on. So I have this pink, I should have, and I have this gray. Trying to see what I'm missing. I really don't want no real dark colors. I'm up in the air about this, but I think it's gonna be pretty. I think I can do dark color. I just don't want black in the quilt. Okay, I don't think I want any black. And so I think this one of the colors. I think it's gonna be fine. And if not, I'll pull it out. Okay, what else? So I have the pink. See, so I could complete the pink strips because I have the pink solid and the pink on the inside. I'm gonna put that together. Put that right here. I can do that. Let me see. I have a solid purple. Did I have yeah, I already have a solid purple already done. So I'm not gonna mess with her yet. Any of the ones where I got a completed block, I'm not gonna do right now. Move to the side. I have this apples. Okay. So I have an apple with the solid and an apple, and it's actually ready to be cut, and I can finish her up. This is the one in the center. I'm gonna put that to the side over here. Okay, so these are the ones that are, she's ready, where I can piece her together. In fact, she's ready to be cut as well. So let me move you. These I haven't done any strips to these at all. Put that there. Okay. I'm gonna put you up here with those. You ready to be cut and sewn. I have to measure you out, but you're close. I can measure you out where you could be cut and sewn. You also are ready to be measured out, which means oh my ice. I dropped my ice. I dropped some of my ice, y'all. Oh my goodness. I eat ice, okay? Hey, I dropped some of it. I gotta get that up before it turns my floor wet. Hold up. I'll get my carpet wet. I hope I don't have to go all the way. Do I have to go all the way downstairs? No, I shouldn't. Let me see. Use this. Put that in the trash. it. Tomorrow I have to, tomorrow I will, I'll just vacuum that up, make sure there's no water on there, but I think I got all the ice up. And let me see how much I have left. Yeah, I'm good. Okay, so see how I have to do this first? I do a bunch of them, then I go through my stash and see what I have in the stash where I can add more colors. And then I piece them together. Then I have some colors that I haven't added yet. Okay, that I do want to add, but since I haven't started on stripping these together, I do have strips. I have some white strips here. Like a piece a few of these together. So my options right now. So right now I have one. I need to start at kind of putting this in my notebook. Let me do that. So I wanted to do this every time. Because I end up doing this every time. And I can start going through to see what I have. But I shouldn't have to pull them out to see what I have every time, right? Because if I have it written down. So whether I was making this quilt for myself or you, right? I would have to, this is what is included. So right now, I have to do some labeling, right? So what is that? I'm going to put peace. That's for the peace sign. And I only have one of those, right? P-E-A-C-E. I wrote that too fast. Y'all could better read it myself. I'm going to put peace sign. I'm going to put a tick mark for one. That's completed. So this is going to be completed, okay? And then I have green dots. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to put 6. I could either put 6. I'm going to put the word 6. The number 6. I was going to put a tick mark for each, but now I put 6. Okay, I have one brown. I'm going to put khaki. K-E. I'm not sure if that's how you spell khaki, but anyway, I only have one. I thought I had 2 of these, but if I come across it, I'll mark it. I have the teal stripes. I don't know why I call this teal, but stripe. And I see 2 in my hand right now. And then I have, what we gonna call this? I don't know what to call it, but we're gonna call it mixed. And I see 1, but I could have sworn I had another one. But we're gonna do 1. I probably haven't completed the rest of. And then we just got teal. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Then we got the purple. And is that, we're gonna call it lavender. And I'll have 2 that's done. Okay, and then we have, what is that print called, y'all? It's like a bandana print, but I'm gonna call it teal bandana. No, teal paisley, right? Paisley, I think that's what that's called. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 of those are done. And then we have this purple. That's crazy that I have more of these done than anything, because I'm not, like, I think it's cute, but it's not the favorite one. So something, I think that's when I started adding up how much I needed to make a full one. So I ended up with a lot of these. But anyway, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Up 10 of these. And what are we calling this? I'm gonna call this purple flowers, I guess. Purple flower. Okay. Oh, okay, hold up. Excuse me. Okay, so that's, but these, that's what I have completed. So I'm gonna call these the completed 9 patch. Okay, because for in my 9 patch, I still need a 9 patch for block B also. Block B has a 1 9 patch in it, and block A has 6 9 patches in it. Okay, so those are the complete ones. But I have other colors that I'm working on, so I'm gonna put the complete ones in the Ziploc baggie that I had. Okay. Because it will get you, everything will get a little confusing, okay? So we're going to add these little colors without, but they're not completed, right? So we're going to add, what we call, so navy is the darker blue, right? So we're going to navy, and then I'm going to put blue, baby blue. Because I may be adding more. I have lots of fabrics in my stash down there that I haven't picked up. And then, so baby blue flowers, roses. I have none of those done. I have navy, and the navy is roses also. I have none of those done. I have a gray roses. None of those done. That'll give me an idea of what isn't done. Pink, hot pink. None of those done. But they're in stage 2. Okay. I have apples. White. Apples on white. And the reason I put on white because I have apples on black, but I'm not adding that because I think it's too dark. Apples on white is in stage 2 as well. Let's see. Gray. Let's see, I have this. So this, okay, so I have stage 2 on the baby blue roses. Stage 2. Baby blue roses. So what I have in stage 2, I have apples on white, baby blue flowers, roses, and hot pink. Those are stage 2. And some of my peace sign is also on stage 2. We'll put those over here. Okay, cool. Okay, what do I have here? I have also this gray that's at stage 2. Stage 2 kind of mean I have 2 pieces. One that will give me a whole 9 patch. All I have to do is cut it and sew it together. I call that stage 2. Okay, so I'm gonna put that over here. Over here as well. Now, what colors aren't on here yet? I have the navy roses, but I don't have green roses. I haven't started that, so I'm gonna put green roses. Let me make sure. Green. Wait, what did I say after that? Green what? Oh, dots. Okay. And green roses. Okay. And then I have like, what we call that? It's another green. What, I don't even have a lot of this. I'm just, I don't know what to call it. Light green. It's another color. It won't come to my mind, but I'm gonna put light green. Okay. These haven't been started at all, if I'm correct. At no stage. Okay. I kind of pushed the light blue. We're gonna move you over here. See, I have so many stages of this quilt that I need to keep up with them, because I do have stage 3 is when it's at this point. That's when they made. I've already put them together, cut them, and then they're in stage 3. Okay. Stage 1 is me putting the strips together. Stage 2 is when the strips, I've measured them out and I'm ready to cut them. Stage 3 is once they've been cut, now I can put a piece of them together, and then there will be a complete block. Okay. I always got to make sure I got enough white, because I use more of this than anything. Okay. And so far, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It will be 16 different blocks at this point. And I think I might be missing. I have the lavender. I think I might be missing one in here, but that's okay. Because I do have a light blue color plain, and I have this dark blue color plain that I haven't cut in strips yet. Okay. I have lots of color fabrics down there. I don't have to add everything, but I need 90 blocks, and each row, if I'm correct, it takes 9 blocks. Okay. Nine blocks of 9 blocks. So I need 9. So for block A, I need 9 blocks. 5 colors with 4 whites. Block B, 1 9 block and 8 whites. This is for the whole entire block. Okay. Then I need some other colors. I need 90 blocks. I think I put it down at 18 of each block, but I don't need 18 of each of these blocks because I have so many blocks. So now, when I do the 5 blocks, color blocks, I want them to be different colors, different patterns, most definitely. And each of them could be different, or they could be the same. And anyway, that's I need to cut a few more of these in different colors. I do want each block to have a representation of this. So I have the baby blue, I have some of the purples, I have the gray, I have some more of these, but every block won't have a representation because I don't have enough fabric, right, of each one. So the scrappy ones, I'm trying to save a piece. That's why some of it's not cut. So I can have at least one representing in the quilt somewhere. But I can't explain it until I get at least the blocks set up. And I'll explain what I mean by that. Because I can't explain it. It's all in my head, y'all. I'm crazy. The pattern is in my head, okay? I like this paisley patterns. I like it in all the colors, but I do not like it all in one piece. I like it when it's mixed up. So patchwork is perfect for this fabric in my mind. Now some people like it the way it is. It's too much for me. It's just too wild and crazy. But when it's patched up, it looks so cute. Now the block may look a little weird. It hasn't been ironed yet, but when it's ironed, it'll be like that. Right now, it has a tuck here. Okay. And remember when I sewed that together and they not coming together? It's because I neglected to iron. So that tuck gets there, and that's what's bringing my blocks. It's not about me cutting it. It's more about me not ironing. Okay. If it bothered me a lot, I would iron. Okay. I don't have no problem ironing, but yeah, it gets on my nerves sometimes. So I make do. If it bothered me enough, I would iron. Eventually, I do iron the block. But anyway, let's get to it. So what have I decided to do? I don't want to drop my ice. Find the rest of those rips. I'm gonna make some blocks in some of the colors that I do not have a block made in yet. That includes this baby blue, this gray, the apple, that's the baby blue, the pink, I think that's it. I don't have any of this, but it's not ready, so I'm not gonna bother with it, right? For now, anyway. So I'm gonna put the strips. I have to put things in. Let's see. Wait, do I have any of that? Yeah, I haven't done anything with these but make strips. Do I have enough strips? This look way wider than 2 inches. Yeah, it's a whole 3-inch block. That must be for something else, because why would I have a 3-inch block? A strip here. Probably for some other project, and it got mixed up. It's a good thing, you can look at things and tell. I can't anyway. Okay. I'll put all these little ones over there. The stage. That's another whole stage. I'm gonna pull these out the way. This stage 1. Did I have any of these? No. Okay. I don't want to do any stage 1s today. So let's just okay. Let's get to these. So what? I don't know. Did I have? Yep. So at this stage, I do need to iron them. Okay. It will make it easier. So let me get my iron on. Okay, let's move you out the way. right now I can literally turn this off because I'm not gonna be using that for minutes, and I'm gonna be using this space. First I'm gonna iron, and then I'll start measuring and cutting. I'll show y'all how to do that. Okay. I made this cover for my pad last week in a quick little video. You don't have to do everything everybody said. You don't have to do all that measuring and everything, okay? It fit on here perfectly. And that's that black, apple on black. I put it on there. I didn't have to use anything in it because I already had a pad, a sewing pad. I just put it inside of it. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I want all my seams to go towards the color, nothing towards the white. Okay, and that'll help you keep everything in order. I have to watch my temperature because my white fabric for these strips is not 100% cotton. Okay, so it has some polyester in it. You do not want it to be too hot. That's it, delicate. I have it on. I have my settings on wool. Okay, and I'm gonna. Now, what I want you to see is that I'm taking this side and I'm pulling when I do this. Okay. So if there's a tuck over there, I'm pulling the tuck away. Okay. So that gives me a straight, no tucks on this side. Okay. This is the side I just ironed. We're going to do it once again. I'm going to pull, iron, that. And I'll pull. Cool. Now we're going to turn it around. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay. I'm going to take this side, now the side that I ironed, and when I put this in, I'm going to pull and then fold that in. Okay. I'm going to take it. I'm pulling and then I'm going to do the same thing. Here. Pull. And what happens when you come to this side, you don't really have to iron this side if you don't want to, but I just take it and just iron it flat like that. Okay. And there's no tucks. Okay. Now we're going to take the other gray piece and do the same thing. Okay. Now, this time, we doing the seam allowance to that way, right? Before it was coming in, this time it's going that way. But I'm going to do the same exact thing anyway. It doesn't matter. Whatever. I'm going to take the side that I'm sewing on, and I'm going to pull. But instead of coming this way with the iron, I'm going that way with the iron. Okay? And turn me around. And then I'm just gonna kind of go across that like that. Just like that. And it becomes really flat and nice. Okay? Now I'm gonna quickly iron the others. Well, I can't quickly iron the others, right? I don't have no YouTube magic. Okay, this is live, y'all. This is live. I have no YouTube magic. So y'all just gotta bear with me. Okay? No YouTube. These things takes time. Okay? I'm giving you hints on how to make it quicker. So that's what I'm doing. Make it quicker and still make it fit. Make it nice. That's all I'm doing. You can take my advice, or you don't have to take my advice. Now, some of these have been ironed already, but you don't want to iron a crease in your front. Okay. I'm gonna stop here because I know y'all don't want to watch me iron all those things. Okay. I've seen videos where people complain. You know, even I'm like, you gonna show us you saw all 20 of those, but they don't. It's different. They're not live when they're doing it. It's like an actual video. They just want the videos to be longer. You know what I mean? That's different. This is live, okay? Now, before I get to this, because y'all may be able to see that I have some lines already drawn, which means I already did the map. But I want to show y'all how I did I have rulers. Now, I do have a smaller ruler, but I don't see it. It's usually in this thing here. I don't see it. So that's okay. Now, the truth is the smaller ruler is better when you're in your small space. This is long. I'm going to have to find my smaller ruler. It's probably downstairs because I do have a sewing area, which I haven't used in a while. That's where my industrial sewing machine is, okay? It's downstairs. I have a couple of other machines down there as well, but let me see something that's not measured already, but I'm about to use, like, you do not need and by the way, you do not even need a ruler, okay? There's some other things you can have. You can have, which I make a lot, and they will be considered as, let's see what inches this is. Let me measure this. Templates, and your template could be anything. So this template is a little over 2 inches. Okay, so I won't use it because I don't want to be estimating. It's 2.5. Now I have templates for all kinds of things, and I use them for all kinds of things, okay? I'm always making a template. And you believe it or not, what I use templates for, I make templates out of. I'm cheap, okay? Hubby buy me these Reese's pieces, not Reese's pieces, Reese's, and different things in where they come in singles, but it's a long pack, and it sits on these little cords, and or the long strip, and this is a part of that. I take it, it's like it has some weight to it, and then I cut them up, and I make templates out of them. That's what this template's made out of, that Reese's Pieces pack. Here's some more templates. I'm looking for a 2-inch. Now, usually I put what the size is and what it's for, but it don't have to be used just for that. But I'm looking for a 2-inch. This template is 3 by 35. This 2.5 by 2.5, which is the same. It's 3.5. I do have a 2-inch one around here somewhere. I think. I do. Yes, I do. But, because it's easier. Here, this 2.5. Okay, I don't want that. I don't want those. Maybe this is it. Is this it? No, this looks too wide to be. Yeah, it's 2.5 as well. I want 2.5 for some reason. I'm gonna use the ruler, but I don't want my ruler too large. But anyway, what do I do? Okay, so I've taken a 2-inch and I sewed them together. And now I need this to be cut into 2 inches, right? So I was trying not to, let me see, I can make let's see what this is. No, it's way too small. So I want this to be 2 inches. And I'm gonna start from this end. I'm gonna go from the bottom. Now the only thing on the first cut is the one that I'm concerned about. Oh, I have to take this up. That's why my pad was messed up from the beginning, okay? I cut, I actually cut on that. Ended up putting a little slit in it. Okay. And this is wobbly because I ended up ironing on this. Not replacing and removing things. You got to be very careful because these pads, especially this one, I didn't care about. But I bought one that I paid a lot of money for, and then I put my pad on it, iron, and it still got wobbly. Okay, I'm so pissed off at myself because I paid like $80 for that thing and messed it up that quick. Anyway, the first thing I'm gonna do is see this edge over here. You can tell it's not even, right? It's uneven. I want to keep as much as this gray as I can. So I'm gonna go, and the first thing I'm gonna do, I could use this mat to help me, but the angle I'm at, because I'm sitting, I'm not standing, I'm going to just eyeball it. Okay. I'm going to use one of my lines to line up the gray. That helps me eyeball it. And then I could take my rotary cutter, which need the blade replaced, but I haven't replaced it yet. But that's okay. And I'm going to start way back here. I'm going to keep my hands way back here. See this? This is the edge, and my fingers are way back here. Listen, y'all, do not play around with this shit. Okay? Oops. Sorry for my language. Do not play around with this. Okay? Do not play around. Keep your hands out of the way. If you're too nervous and you think you need to hold this, I promise you it's not important, more important than your fingers. But you could get you something and sit it up there if you want, if you need help. Like I put this water bottle there, right? Do not play around with this. People have cut the tips of their fingers off. Because the way you run this blade, by the time you realize you're cutting, you have already cut. Okay? Please listen to me. Okay, so I'm going to put my hands way back here, and I'm going to start this blade from way back here. So I can have this blade running against this, right? That's going to help you keep it straight. But I'm going to start back here because that's what I do, right? And then I'm going to run it. And I'm going to run it again, just in case. And then I'm going to slide those pieces out. Okay? Please do not. See how you run it? You'll be the rank. By the time you hit your fingers, you'll cut them off. You won't even feel the pain until after you done already cut your fingertips off. Okay? And now I have a straight edge there. Okay, cool. Now with the straight edge, I could just put the 2-inch mark there. Now this is the part I don't like. See, because I like to cut from that side and not this side. So how do I do it? I mark. I waste a lot of time. Some people don't do it. If I was standing, it wouldn't matter. Or if I think if I turn the mat, but then let me see. I guess I could do it this way. Yeah. Okay. See, I had to think that through using my brain. Okay. But then I have to change the ruler around too, because this ruler has a 1/4 inch on it. So we go to the 2-inch mark on the edge. Make sure you got 2 inches. Okay, a little more that way. I'm gonna put this there. Now the honest truth is, and to see how the reason I ran it twice, see how it's still there? I ran it twice. My blade need to be changed. I have the blades sitting right there. Eventually I'll get to it. I'm just looking for those strings that's holding on. Okay. Now the honest truth is, when I'm doing this, I would have more than one layer. Okay. I was just showing y'all how to do it. I would have the second layer underneath. And another honest truth is, I normally don't use that. Okay. I do not want to lose my fingers. I take a pen. And I draw a You can do it how you want to do it. Okay, don't let me, I can't tell you how to do it. I don't want to tell you how to do it. Do it what makes you feel safe. I do not want to lose my fingers. And I always have, like my grandson, you know, he's one of them people, like, he likes to talk and talk and talk. So he always, while I'm doing work, I also have to pay attention to him, which means my attention be spread across. And so the last thing I would want to do is spread across my attention and cut off my fingers. Because he comes first, but my fingers come just as important as him, okay? And then I'll cut, or then I'll use my roller cutter in it when I'm prepared, okay? But I'm going to cut a few of these off. You do it the way you want to do it. I just gave you a couple of options, that's all. What's better for me is to use these scissors. And that's why my lines don't be as straight. And then so I showed y'all how, if they're not straight exactly, how you still can get a nice item made. They didn't have these rotary cutters and things. My grandmother didn't have this. She had some scissors. Okay? She didn't have no cutting boards. She had a regular ironing board. Okay. And when I say my grandparent, I'm talking about grandparents. Okay? Grandparents. I'm not just talking about mine. Okay, so these white little pieces, I could keep those for either other projects or the same project. But it's small. The honest truth is, unless I need like a 2x2 block, I'm gonna put those to my side. They're going back in my stash. So I only cut the middle. Now I gotta cut the ends. Let's work from this side. I want to straighten this out as much as I can. Ooh, I'm gonna just put that there. Okay, I'm gonna hold it as much as I can. I have a little nick in my blade. I actually could see it if I look the right area. That's why I run it across a few times. Put that to the side. And now I'm going to just do some measuring. Okay. Ooh, it's harder to see. Yeah, it is harder to see now. I see the line in the white, and